Welcome back, Albuquerque sports crew and all you people out there. This is the return of ABQ sports crew. It's been far too long. It's been a 3-year absence since we've been on the radio. So we want to welcome every single one of you and thank you for tuning in, giving us your time because we are back. It is official. After 3 years, we are here back in a room that I am not very comfortable in.
You know, it is what it is, and it wouldn't be ABQ Sports Crew Radio if we didn't run into some technical difficulties along the way.
We apologize.
I know we said 7, we're up and running. We have a phenomenal new producer who's making the glitz and glamour come to life a little bit more for us now. You're going to see some members of the old sports crew pop in here and there. For now, we're going to hold it down tonight, Josh.
Yeah, so we want to thank Blue Wind Studios, and we want to thank Julian Chavez for being the producer. So if you guys need anything, make sure that you contact Julian at Blue Wind Studios. And, you know, what he's done here for us has just been amazing. Hey, if you guys want to call in, we actually have a new live telephone number. Make sure you guys, if you guys want to text or if you want to call in, we have a live text line. You can call it, and you can also call the live phone number. It's 505-273-7046. Again, that's 505-273-7046. Me and Adam are just going to go over real quick what we've been up to in the last couple of years. We got an awesome packed show for you guys tonight. We're talking fantasy football. We're talking AFC, NFC East today. So if you're a Bills, Jets, Dolphins, Patriots, Cowboys, Eagles, Redskin, or Giant fan, you're going to love tonight because we're going to break down each division. We're also going to be talking to Natalia. She is from the Buffalo Bill Backers of Albuquerque. We've had them on the show before. They're great friends of ours, so we're pumped. Adam, are you? We'll start with you. Where have you been the last 3 years?
You know, it was tough seeing this crew kind of fall apart. I mean, life happens. This isn't a full-time gig. This is just for fun. It's a good time hanging out with the boys. Honestly, I've been playing some terrible golf. I've been working. You know, some of the members, Izzy, Corey. Corey, if you guys remember him, he actually he's with AFD now. He's a fireman, tearing it up. Izzy's still running around the mountains with his dog. I mean, you got the old crew. Elijah, he's about to be a dad, actually. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, life happens. We're excited to be back. A lot has happened with our partnership with Lobo Hockey, actually. If you want to hop in that a little bit. Josh has really kind of been the forefront of that. Some really cool events.
So after ABQ Sports Crew kind of dismembered there in 2015, 2016. I joined up with Julian, and we wanted to bring Lobo Hockey to life, so we started the Lobo Hockey Network. Make sure you head to the page and give it a like as well, because we follow the Lobo Hockey team. What an amazing season that we chose to start it, because that was the year of their magnificent run. Yeah. The team made it to nationals for the first time. Michigan. They beat Michigan State. They beat Central Florida. You know, so they were ranked 7th in the country. So it was nice to bring that to Albuquerque and everybody else that was watching around the United States that was a Lobo Hockey fan.
And yeah, you want to talk about a passionate coach, Grant Harvey. If you haven't made it out to one of those Lobo Hockey games, it's unreal. The atmosphere, the student section. And, I mean, we make it out to football. We make it out to all these different sports. But you've got a great team, Albuquerque. You've got a great team in hockey. Really representing an awesome host in Grant Harvey. In fact, they've got the Lobo Hockey golf event will be playing in this upcoming Saturday.
Yeah,
that's going to be a blast. They need all the support they can get, guys. A great team, a great atmosphere, and extremely talented. That's what a lot of people I don't understand. We'll see a team that wins 2 games in another sport, but you got. I mean, what was it? 14, 15, 16 wins. I mean, unreal the talent that they put out on the ice. So make sure you check them out. We've been really hyping up our partnership with them. And like I said, Grant Harvey, a phenomenal host.
Yeah, so if you guys want to find out more, just head to Lobo Hockey Network on Facebook. You can like us there and keep in touch with what's going on with Lobo Hockey. But Adam, it is time to dig in and talk a manly sport, you know, some football. Well, it's football season.
I've been known to be a guru, a connoisseur, kind of a
Yeah, that's
a genius, if you will, when it comes to fantasy football. So you're in for a treat.
That's why we're in this room right now.
You're going to want to get your notepads. You're going to want to get your pencil. You're going to want to take notes and lock it away so your friends don't see it. We're going to show you how to win this year in fantasy football. We're going to start with our keepers, sleepers, and weepers.
Yes. So if you're starting a fantasy league, you never really played before, take some hints, take some advice, because we're gonna break down everything we can today. We're really gonna be focusing on wide receivers and running backs, because usually those are your first ones that you want to draft. A lot of people are like, "Well, I need a quarterback right away." Well, hold your horses. Let us convince you on how to draft properly. Because me and Adam were really competitive at fantasy football. When I hosted House of Football's Fantasy Talk on ESPN Radio, I won that league that year. So, me and Adam are in 2 leagues together this year already. So,
don't be that guy. I had my cousin. I won't say any names, John, but you drafted a defense first overall. I know it's when the Legion of Doom or Boom was out there. You had Richard Sherman, you had the Beast, but taking Seattle, taking a defense, hey, that deserves a come on, man.
Come on,
let's go. No, we're going to show you what not to do, what to do. We'll get some breakdowns, and we'll show you how to win this year. It's been a minute for me. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be completely real with you right now. I take pride in my football teams, in my fantasy football teams, and the last few years have been rough. I did make it to the ship in one league and got obliterated. So this is going to be the year. Yeah. This is going to be the year, Josh, especially with you in mind. I mean, I look forward to redeeming myself. But let's start with yours. Why don't we?
Well, okay. So in terms of running backs and wide receivers, these are usually your first picks. You want them to be usually rounds 1 through 5 are usually where you want these guys, because you can usually find a quarterback in the 5th, 6th round still available, unless you're like in an ultra aggressive league where you get somebody who's like, oh, I got to get Tom Brady like first round, because yes, Tom Brady is a great quarterback, but is he a fantasy quarterback? That's the thing. But now
consistency.
Yeah,
I'll give you that much.
But let's start with running backs first. Of course, your keeper, if you have the number 1 overall pick, you got many to choose from. You got Alvin Kamara, you got Todd Gurley, you got Kareem Hunt, Le'Veon Bell.
I'm just going to throw this out there right now. If you have the number 1 overall pick in your fantasy league this year and you don't go with the running back, quit your league. Don't even sign up. There's not a single quarterback, not a single receiver that is worth taking over the top 3 running backs in the league right now.
Because the running back position is where you're going to get your most points. The receivers, running backs is where you get your most points. The top running backs, I'll give you the top 10 running backs going into projected years. Le'Veon Bell, number 1. Todd Gurley at number 2. David Johnson, number 3. Ezekiel Elliott going in at number 4. Saquon Barkley going in at 5. Alvin Kamara at 6. Melvin Gordon at 7. Dalvin Cook at 8. Kareem Hunt at 9. And Jordan Howard at number 10. Your keeper is definitely the top 3. I mean, the one I worry about the most is going to be David Johnson coming off an ACL injury. But the year before, he really kicked it into gear and ran the league.
Those birds.
But, he's going to be the main focal point in Arizona. He's going to be the main running back that you... Are you going to run him to death over there? Because they're getting a new quarterback.
Yeah, that's the point. I mean, you're going to want to alleviate as much of that stress and tension as you can off of Josh Rosen, and Rosen is starting out there.
Yeah.
You're going to pound the rock. So that is a safe pick. It really is. As long as he can stay healthy, which I believe he can. The guy's a rock typically. I think that's a great top pick there. I'm going to switch mine up for my keeper a little bit. A lot of people aren't sure about Le'Veon Bell going into this year. All the contract disputes, all the things that I'm not going to be a Steeler next year. I'm only going to go into 1 year. He said himself, this is going to be my best year. And I would say the Steelers, in my opinion, top 3 Super Bowl pick for this upcoming year. They are a phenomenal team. They've got an offense that is just unstoppable, absolutely unstoppable. Defense can be suspect at times, but I think he's going to have a phenomenal year. If you're going to stick with someone who you think is going to consistently give you that 3-down back, that guy who will catch it out of the backfield and take it for yardage, he doesn't get hurt. Le'Veon Bell does not get hurt. He got hurt last year, but he got hurt a little bit last year. But for the most part, he's been healthy throughout his career. He's still a safe pick.
Yeah, I'll take that too. But people are going out there right now going, Adam, Josh, what about Todd Gurley? Probably going to be the number 1 drafted running back coming into fantasy football.
Number 1 player,
exactly. You know what's funny? As I was looking at stats, and he wasn't even the leading scorer in fantasy last year. You know who was? Russell Wilson was the leading fantasy point was Russell Wilson.
Internet's broke.
No. I'm
Now,
using
You
yours.
got to stick with good old-fashioned pen
No,
and
no,
paper.
but
There's something wrong with... No way, Russell Wilson?
yeah, he was the most point. But Todd Gurley is going to be dangerous this year. Hopefully he doesn't have what he had 2 years ago. Because that was just, he was a garbage running back in the day. But last year just absolutely killed it. What was it? He was averaging somewhat in the 30 to 40 points a game. And in some range, sometimes he would score 3 touchdowns a game.
Is that kind of production duplicated ever, though? I mean, how often do you see that? That's my only thing. And I'm not going to argue the fact Todd Gurley should go number 1. You get that number 1 pick, you go Todd Gurley. I would in my leagues.
Yeah.
That being said, it's still what's scary is duplicating that level of success is so unreal. I mean, take a look at. I know it's a different position, but that year Cam Newton went off, number 1 scoring points in fantasy. I fell victim to buying into the hype, taking him number 1 overall the following year. Terrible. I ended up dropping him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so hard to duplicate that level of success, especially at a position where that can be that brutal in the running back position. I mean, but like I said with my keeper, Le'Veon Bell's testimony that you can keep up high performance. I wouldn't expect the same unreal year out of Todd Gurley. I would expect 15 points a game still.
Yeah, definitely with Todd Gurley. And then, let's look at the other ones on this list. You had Ezekiel Elliott not coming into this league with the suspension year. He's going to be playing all the games. And the way he has played lately, he's going to be a keeper in fantasy. You're definitely going to want to get this guy. If not the first round, definitely going into the second round. Let's talk about the rookie, Saquon Barkley for the Giants. Is he going to be someone that you want to keep? Or is he going to be someone that you're going to want to stay away from just because he's a rookie and we know the Giants struggle when it comes to offense?
Rookies terrify me, Josh. Rookies terrify me. You never know what you're going to get. I mean, that's like when Ezekiel Elliott popped off, DeMarco Murray back in the day. You do find those diamonds in the rough that just blow it up. And, I mean, Saquon is an unreal athlete. Playing for the Giants, though. Yeah. That's the scary part. That is a team that couldn't beat themselves in a scrimmage last year. Mm-hmm. And now you're going to rely on this top pick. I mean, they know what's coming. You have Odell or you have Saquon.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, Brandon Marshall can't stay healthy out there. The receivers are all beat up consistently. Then Eli's 93 years old at this point. I mean, he's not throwing the rock like he used to. I don't know. For me personally, if you have a better option or if you're kind of on the fence between him and I mean, a comparable back at least, I'd be hesitant. I love Saquon. I think he's going to have a phenomenal career. I just don't know if it's going to be this year, going into a beat-up New York Giants team.
Okay. If we're going on there, how about Alvin Kamara, top rookie last year? Will he hit a sophomore slump? Is he something to worry about?
I think the biggest thing with him, personally, is that he is a product of his system. And I'm not saying he's not phenomenally gifted. He's a phenomenal athlete. I absolutely love him. But the way he plays, the way he has those burst plays, those swing out passers, those 40-yard shots at a time, that's the Saints offense. I mean, that's the scheme that they're running, and he fits perfectly in there. I don't think he's ever gonna be a back like a Saquon or like right. A lot of these other backs that is just gonna pound it through the middle of the hole every single time and tear off these big runs. But when you have Drew Brees back there and he likes to throw for 300-400 yards a game, I think in that system he is an absolute safe keeper.
Right. And okay, so let's go over our 3 keepers. Okay, let's pick 3 keepers right now. Your keepers are going to be, for me, it might be different for you.
Okay.
I'm definitely going with Todd Gurley. Okay. Le'Veon Bell at number 2. And then my third one is going to be Ezekiel Elliott.
3. You're going to catch me on the spot with that. I have planned for one. That's all right. And Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah.
Rolling with the boys.
I
mean, that old
I'm never going
to... I mean...
Okay. In terms of fantasy, I love Ezekiel Elliott. But in terms of cheering for teams, I hate the Dallas Cowboys.
So I'm going to I'll give you mine. I'll stick with, of course, my first one, Le'Veon Bell. I still think he's going to have a phenomenal year. Todd Gurley. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't you go with Todd Gurley? I'm going to go with Julio Jones. I know you...
Julio Jones is a running back?
Oh, you said running back?
Yeah, I
said
running back.
Just keepers.
No.
Oh, get out of here. All right, so I'll stick with Kamara then. Product of the system. If you're looking for consistency, just someone who you know is going to get you that 15 yards a game. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and if you guys want to call or text in with your keepers, please text us at 505-273-7046. We got the live text line going right now, so if we want to hear what you guys have to say and hear what your keepers are. Now let's talk about sleepers, the guys that you might want at that third running back position, or somebody that might sneak in during the regular season that gets overlooked by these top running backs. You kind of look at people like, let's go with like Jay Ajayi. You got to go with someone like...
Jay Ajayi's not a sleeper. Get out of here with that. Come on now. That dude, did you not watch the Super Bowl? There was a big game last February. You should have caught it. It was a great one. No, check this out. Jay Ajayi is the truth. Anybody that says he's a sleeper, get out of here. That dude's a top 10 pick in fantasy. Come on.
But,
come on.
No, listen here. The reason why is because... Is Philadelphia going to be the same team? We'll discuss this later, but is Philadelphia going to be a Super Bowl returning team? Yeah. So that's my thing, is teams that win the Super Bowl, how many of them struggle the next year? Mm-hmm. Injuries, exactly. So listen to me, Adam. All right. So, but how about Christian McCaffrey being a sleeper?
Okay, I'm going to throw this out. We're going to jump ahead a little bit. I've got him as a weeper.
Oh,
Are you kidding me? Christian McCaffrey, decent year, but that system, that team, that whole scheme is falling apart. Anybody who was riding on his back this last year, stay away from Christian McCaffrey. My advice to you, you'll thank me later.
How about Mark Ingram?
Mark Ingram...
See, he could be a sleeper. He's that guy that the Saints go to pound the rock on the goal line.
He's a good handcuff. He's a good handcuff in fantasy. If you can get Kamara, get Ingram. That's a solid handcuff, but it's not. I wouldn't go sleeper. I mean, I could go sleeper. I might change my mind. You definitely could. He did put up decent fantasy points last year. He really did. And then one thing about Ingram is when they got close, when they got within the 10, 15-yard range, that's when he'd break some loose. That's when you'd find him in the end zone. So that's not bad.
For like I said, this is like for your third slot running back. If you want to go with third running back, he's going to be that guy because he's going to get you at least 50 yards rushing and a touchdown. And if you play in a normal league, that's 12 points.
I would say, honestly, if you're going to look at sleepers, look at Devontae Freeman. He had a big...
What? As a sleeper?
As a sleeper. Because, no, this is the thing. If you look at last year, he fell off the map. He fell off the map for fantasy points. So Devontae Freeman was going as everyone's top 5 running back. Everybody was all about him, if you remember from last year's fantasy. They were picking him left and right. And then week 1, week 2, week 3, they started falling off. And it got to the point where you saw him falling to waivers in some leagues. So I think a lot of that you go into this upcoming year, he's going to get drafted. I'm not saying he's not going to get drafted. You're going to find him on waivers
But you'll get people that will draft him second or third round. Watch.
He's going to fall, and he's not. And he's still, in my opinion, he's still a top 15 pick.
Okay. Another sleeper. How about Jerick McKinnon from San Francisco? Had a good year in Minnesota last year. Now he's going to a whole new offense.
That'll be interesting just to see how they play with the lack of Carlos Hyde.
Mm-hmm. And the Niners, as we know, with Jimmy, we'll see. They won 6 in a row last year. Now we'll see how they do with McKinnon as running back.
I think one thing you have to keep in mind is when you're talking about these sleepers and you're talking about these players that you might find down low or even on waivers, we're talking 12, 14-man leagues. If you're in an 8-man league, stay away. I mean, you can find so much better talent than that. True for sure talent. If you're where you're looking at a McKinnon, you could probably still pick up a Carlos Hyde. Yeah. I mean, you could. This is when you're looking for depth. When depth is hard to find. I'm talking probably 12-man leagues. Even on 10-man, I don't think you go with a McKinnon.
Remember when we played in the 18-man? We were drafting players we didn't even.
They never saw the field.
Yeah,
half my team didn't make their team.
Yeah,
don't do an 18-man league.
Don't do whatever.
That's actually the year I joined ABQ Sports Crew.
So pick 3 sleepers right now, if you could.
God, man, you hit me with 3. I was not prepared. All right, let's see. Sleepers. I say Carlos Hyde still to a degree. I still think
Cleveland
he could
Browns.
fall.
Yep.
I think he could fall low enough on leagues where you could get away with him. I can't get off Carlos Hyde like that's. He's just solid. I would stay away from McKinnon. I don't like that.
We'll get back to you on that one.
Yeah, you come back.
So my 3 are going to be a rookie. I'm going to take a rookie as someone I think is going to be very good, even though he's playing for a team that's on the down. But I think he's going to be someone that can help, and that's Rashad Penny from Seattle. I saw him at San Diego State play. He was a great running back over there. We've seen Mountain West running backs do very well in the NFL, so I'm taking Rashad Penny as a guy that you want to stay on the safe side. I'm going to take also... Marshawn Lynch is always a good safe bet too, so he might be a little sleeper. He's not going to be
one for the rest of the positions.
Yeah,
is what we're going to do.
Yeah, because he's not going to be that guy that's going to get you 20 points consistently every week from a running back. And then my third one, I'm going to say it's going to be LaShawn McCoy is also going to be that guy too. He's having some issues, but you know what? If he's playing,
I mean, I'm staying away from that topic.
All right, and then now the three that you do not want to draft on your team. These are the weepers. These are the guys that make you cry because you have them on your team.
Again.
Yeah, or I don't know, three. Let's just talk about the ones that are. That
we got two more positions to go through. What do you?
we got. Well, now it's the weeper part. So the one, stay away from Denver Bronco running backs. They do not have anybody that could be a ball handler right now. I looked at their, and I'm a Bronco fan. This is coming from a Bronco fan. Devontae Booker, fumbles.
I was kind of going to go in your same direction with that because I was going to go after Isaiah Crowell. Moved over to the Jets, and honestly, I will get into that later. Jets got a squad. Don't let me lie to you. Jets got a squad this year, but their O-line is still suspect, and I think Powell is going to end up getting a decent amount of those carries. So anybody who stuck with Isaiah Crowell last year, be hesitant.
Yeah, so we have Isaiah Crowell also on there. How about this? LeGarrette Blount in Detroit. Detroit running backs do not have any success since Barry Sanders left.
No, that's a great one.
So I'm going to go with LeGarrette Blount in Detroit.
I'll agree with you. For the
what? Oh, my goodness. Check the weather outside. It might rain. But no, like I said, running backs in Detroit just don't do good. Frank Gore in Miami is also one.
Frank Gore? Going to have a walker out on him?
Yeah, he's also one you're going to stay away from.
As a running back.
Rex Burkhead, I think, is also another one that you want to stay away from. Just because not Deion Lewis. Who is the main running back in New England? I don't remember.
Is it White?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And honestly, Christian McCaffrey, just stay away.
Just stay away.
Just stay away.
Okay, now let's go on to wide receivers.
One of each wide receiver. Jeez, you're going into deep depth charts.
Let's go into wide receivers now. If you're looking for wide receivers, this is where you win your leagues right here because these are the guys that get the yardage and the touchdowns. Of course, the number one, according to this list, you might find someone different, but the number one receiver to draft is going to be Antonio Brown. Yeah, and then you got Odell Beckham Jr.
What?
Yeah. Michael Thomas.
Who makes these lists? Who are you picking? Is this?
This is the ESPN.
Oh my god.
Michael Thomas from New Orleans.
Terrible.
Julio Jones.
No. How is Julio Jones not top 2? I don't even want to let you finish. That's garbage.
DeAndre Hopkins.
Throw that out.
Devontae Adams, AJ Green, Keenan Allen, and Stephon Diggs.
Stephon
Diggs.
Whatever. The miracle. Come on.
But with the new quarterback now, is Stephon Diggs someone you go after?
Oh, well, we're talking about who is your keeper. And I'm going to go back to what I was talking about earlier with Julio Jones. I know there was a lot of, is he going to stick with Atlanta? What happened after, last year wasn't his biggest year. That guy's a beast. He is an animal. He's a number one pick all day, and he's one that is going to consistently get that yardage. He plays in a great scheme out there, and what I was talking about earlier with Devontae Freeman coming back, that's going to take a bit of the stress off Matt Ryan. Look for Julio in the end zone this year.
But is Julio playing to stay there for a long time?
Well, even if he's not, he's playing to get someone to sign him for a long deal.
What about Antonio Brown? Now,
of course,
he's on the Madden cover, and remember the year Gronk was on it, he went down.
Remember every year for everybody on the Madden cover. Except Brady, kind of.
Antonio Brown is on the cover this year. Is he something to worry about?
Technically, he's not, though, because if you get the Hall of Fame edition, it's Terrell Owens.
We're not talking about the
Terrell Owens.
We're talking about
curse all he wants.
But he's still on the. He's still on the dang. No. He's still on the dang cover.
Terrell Owens on the cover.
He's still on the dang cover.
Antonio, you're fine, bro.
For the people that are not rich like Adam Nish, you got to get the regular edition.
No, here's the thing. Antonio's the truth. Like, you can't knock on. There's nothing to be said about Antonio Brown other than he's going to get you 20 points a game. I'm talking 15, 20 points. That guy's an animal. How many years in a row has it been now that he's just had this next level performance that nobody can match? He is the most consistent receiver at the level.
Okay, let me ask you something, though. Ben Roethlisberger, a little bit older. Okay? What happens if that man goes down? What happens to Antonio Brown then? You got Landry Jones as backup quarterback?
You could say that about any team, though. You can say, what happens to Gronk if Brady goes down?
We know what happens to when that happens. Brady finds somebody else to throw to.
My point being that you can't say, hey, what if there's a snowstorm? I don't think Julio will do good in a snowstorm.
Nobody does good in
I'm just saying, like, these are hypotheticals. He's going to play. There's going to be.
But these are things you got to talk about when you're talking fantasy. You got to be prepared. You got this is what makes you a different fantasy
people.
people
Go into the league looking at, hey, should I draft Tom Brady because he's going to be 41? Yes, you draft Tom Brady. I don't care what age.
Not number one though. Stop it.
I'm not number
no,
one.
No. I'm talking about the viewers out there. Not number one. Don't take him number one overall pick in your draft.
You don't factor in could he get hurt. You just don't. I mean, unless you're playing with unless Derrick Rose signs up for the NFL, you're not worried about it.
As a fantasy owner, you kind of have to because you got to get prepared. Because we don't even.
So you build depth.
Yeah.
Injuries happen, but you can't put that as a constituent on whether you're going to draft somebody.
And by the way, when you start a fantasy league, start smart. Don't draft now when preseason hasn't even started because injuries might happen. So don't start a league now. Whatever you do, like
late August, early September.
Like August 26th on is perfect because that's the last week of fantasy or preseason, and so that's when you want to start drafting. That way, you know when guys aren't getting hurt. Because what if you take somebody and
do like that? What was that? I got Adrian Peterson
or Teddy Bridgewater or something like that. So you got to be careful when you're drafting. Do not start early, or else you're going to run into some problems, and then you're screwed. Because if you take, say, I'm not putting a jinx on anybody, but say you got like T.Y. Hilton, for example, goes out first preseason game with an ACL, you're done.
So who's your let's carry this on a little bit. We got keeper. Who's your sleeper receiver?
Okay, my sleeper receiver. I've been waiting all night to tell you this, okay? Because it's a guy that's been.
I'm so tired of your logic. I don't want to hear this.
It's been a guy on your team and my team. He's played for both.
Eric Decker. Oh my God.
I'm going Eric Decker.
That is a genius pick. I'm going to give you props on that one. Go. I'm actually. That's a great. In fact,
and the ugly jet. Yeah. So he was proven a good wide receiver in Denver. Did okay in New York, but now he's got Tom Brady throwing to him, and now with Julian Edelman facing a 4-game suspension, Eric Decker is going to be the guy.
Brady and white receivers. I don't know what that's all about.
I don't know.
Like, they produce.
Racist.
I know. What's going on in Boston? Corey?
So now with Danny Amendola gone, you got Eric Decker filling that slot. Eric Decker's going to be dangerous.
That boy can play. Yeah. That's a great pick. I got no argument for that. Nice
Finally, right?
Hey,
finally, no argument. So I'm taking. If you're looking at it, take Eric Decker.
All right.
Because even when Julian Edelman comes back, Decker's still going to be hot from throwing these passes to him, and he's going to be the guy.
Now let's clarify something. We're not talking your wide receiver 1 or 2.
No.
We're talking.
Like
you're looking in round 10 for some talent that you can dig up. Decker's probably going to be there.
Probably because everybody just realized. I bet you half of you were like. Whoa,
he got signed by the Patriots.
Yeah, yes, he did. He's going to New England. Who is your sleeper?
My sleeper. Here's a shocker. He is a New York Football Jet. I'm talking about Robbie Anderson, pending he doesn't get suspended for some things he did down in Miami and during the offseason. We'll see. But no, he ran from the job, so it's completely different. But anyways, as long as there's no suspension thing, which I haven't heard anything along those lines. People would not pick up Robbie Anderson last year. That dude was scoring, he scored like 13 touchdowns. Like, his stats were next level. He was getting 100 yards a game. He went, I think, 4 games in a row with a TD and getting 100 yards a game. Those are stats that Julio Jones wasn't hitting. Those are stats that Odell wasn't touching. Robbie Anderson is the truth. And here's a big thing. You have Quincy Enunwa, that big body, coming back this year. Jermaine Kearse. You've got these other receivers who are going to be taking a lot of the DBs. Robbie Anderson... He's a sleeper. Man, I'm telling you right now, he's going to be there.
Can't you wait till we talk about the Jets? Because I know you're going to go off. Okay, right now,
we got a squad, bro. We got a squad.
All right, so who's going to be your weeper? Who's the guy that you don't want on your team? Who's someone you want to stay away from?
Man. Honestly,
I'm taking Danny Amendola. I don't think he's going to do squat down in Miami.
Yeah.
So stay away from Danny Amendola, in my opinion. I mean, I
can see that. I almost want to lean towards Sammy Watkins.
Sammy Watkins?
I just don't see him having the same level of production. Another one, I'm going to throw a twofer in there. Sammy Watkins has been on the decline. He had one big game where he took off for it was 17 points. He had this long touchdown, but he just hasn't had the same level of production, and he's been on the decline. Another one that I think a lot of people are going to see the name, and just off the name they're going to want to pick up is Brandon Marshall out in Seattle. stay away. Seattle's
I would say
right
stay
now.
away from any Seattle receiver.
Yeah, Seattle is falling apart.
I wouldn't take Doug Baldwin either. He was the other one I was going to say. Doug Baldwin.
Not.
But another sleeper, just real quick, I wanted to throw in real quick. He just came up to my mind. Paul Richardson in Washington.
I was going to say Thomas Rawls.
No. Paul Richardson in Washington. He's got Alex Smith throwing to him now. He came from Seattle. He was becoming a stud over there. So I think now you head over to Washington. I think he'll do just fine. He's going to be someone that will get you nice, decent points.
Quick, 30 seconds, side tangent. Is Alex Smith underrated?
In Washington?
In the NFL.
Yes. You want to know why?
Nah.
Doesn't turn the ball over. How many interceptions? He didn't throw very many interceptions last year.
Right. Side note.
He was in Kansas City. We'll get on to because we're going to actually be talking about him with the Washington Redskins. So let's move on to talking about the NFC East and the AFC East as well.
Okay.
Because now it's time for Break It Down. It's called Break It Down. We're going to break down the division. We want to hear your phone calls, though. And if you got anything to say or anything you want to talk to us about, please call us at 505-273-7046. Again, 505-273-7046. Who's going to be the first one to call? I want to know. Who's going to be the first one to call?
We'll see. If you're a fan of the Jets, the Patriots, the Bills, the Dolphins, the Cowboys, the Redskins, the Eagles, the Giants, if any of those are your teams, we want to know why your team is going to have the record they have, what you see happening, good, bad, ugly. We want to know, and I'll tell you why you're wrong.
And rep your team. Let's see how many fans we got out there for each of these teams. Because the first team we're going to talk about is the team that lost the Super Bowl.
Now, remind them of the number.
Yes, 505-273-7046. Again, 505-273-7046. Because I might even have a prize for our first winner. I might. Depends on how well you're. We're gonna have phone call of the day. How about that? Phone call of the day, and I'll get you like a gift card somewhere. Yeah. All right. So the first team we're talking about is the team that lost the Super Bowl, and because we want to get rid of this one fast. Me and you do not like these teams. It's going to be the New England Patriots. Tom Brady coming back, 41 years old.
Wait, you said they lost.
They lost. Let's look at that word. Lost. They always got the easiest path to the playoffs and to the Super Bowl.
Used to.
Let's take a look at their schedule. They got first game of the season: Houston, at Jacksonville, at Detroit, Miami, Indianapolis, Kansas City.
Looks like you got a caller.
Oh, we got a caller. No, he hung up. At Chicago, at Buffalo, Green Bay, at Tennessee. Then they're on a bye. Then they got at New York, Minnesota, Miami, at Pittsburgh, Buffalo, and then the New York Jets to end the season. So I'm going with the New England Patriots. Like I said, they got the easiest road to the playoffs and to the Super Bowl. So I'm going to take these guys at a 12-4. I'm sorry, Adam. I know I hate saying it with a passion. I hate saying that word Tom Brady is making me puke just right now.
You keep missing calls.
I got no calls.
All right, so let's see. The Patriots, the team I like talking about the least in the entire NFL, unless it's talking about them losing. You have them with one more win than I actually have. I have them going 11-5. Yes, winning the AFC East. They are the Patriots. They are. Oh, we got a live one. Go ahead.
Go ahead, caller. You're with ABQ Sports Crew. How's it going? Who do we got?
Greg Nish, Adam's brother, actually.
Oh, of course, when we're talking the Patriots.
The Patriots fan?
Oh, yeah.
So how about you tell us why the Patriots are going to suck this year?
The Patriots aren't going to suck this year. We've got Decker. We're going to get Edelman after the fourth game. He's not going to be out all season. We're going to come back stronger than ever this year.
I told Adam you're going 12-4 this year. You got the easiest path to the playoffs.
Okay, so what's your point?
Prediction? What's your prediction?
I'm saying 12-4 as well. We're coming out. We've got a pretty simple schedule, honestly. Of course, a couple of hard passes to get by, but ultimately, who's going to stop us? The Jets? I don't think so.
I'm laughing with you, Greg.
If we could get any intelligent callers, that'd be phenomenal.
But okay, so
I'm just saying we've got Edelman out for 4 games. Who do we pick up? We pick up Decker, who's going to be strong. He's going to be able to get along.
Hey, what's your thoughts? What's your thoughts on that Edelman suspension?
running from the cops.
You're gonna answer my question, or I'm just saying we always sidetrack the issue with these Patriots. We always sidetrack what's really going on. We got a 4-game suspension. That's big news. What's going on over there? What's happening in Boston, huh?
Okay, Greg. So here's what I got for you, Greg. Here's where your toughest matchups are going to be. You got a very tough Jacksonville team at Jacksonville. They almost beat you in your home for the AFC Championship. Then you got to go to you're home against Green Bay. Lost. And then you're at Pittsburgh, and you know the Pittsburgh Steelers fans are going to be cruel. And that game is on.
They got robbed last year.
That game is a little before Christmas, so I mean, you got to. There are some tough teams you're playing this year.
41.
And you know your division's going to be rough too. You always lose 1 or 2 in your division.
Yeah, well, I'm not worried about the Steelers. I mean, we've come in, we've dealt with the hate.
Whoa.
Jacksonville, on the other hand, they're on fire. Their defense is still insane. They've grown off of the offseason, and they're hungry for it. Honestly, I could see Jacksonville going all the way this year.
Are you saying you're more afraid of Jacksonville than you are of Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, and the Steelers?
Yeah, and old man Ben Roethlisberger that could barely hold the ball this last year. Like, come on.
Well, thank you for that.
All right, Greg. Thanks for calling in, man. We appreciate you calling in. Thanks again, Greg.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
All right, have a good one, man.
All right, so I'm going to tell you why they're going to go 11-5.
Why are they going 11-5?
I mean, and I'm being courteous. I am saying the Pats are going to take the East for the 657th time in a row. And it's frustrating, but honestly, they have a history of winning. They've got the system to do it. I will say this is the last year for quite a while that they're going to be taking the AFC East at 11-5. They're not going to beat Pittsburgh. They're not going to beat Jacksonville. They're not going to beat the Houston Texans. They're going to lose some big games, and they're going to lose 1 or 2 in the division. I think they're going to split with the Jets. But honestly, 11-5 is my prediction for the Patriots.
Okay, and we're going to move on now to South Beach. We're going to take our talents to South Beach and talk about the Miami Dolphins. Last year they went 6-10. They were playing with Jay Smoke'em High Cutler. Now they got Ryan Tannehill back. Are they a better team this year?
Garbage.
Oh, yeah, they're kind of my doormat of this division. I have some Dolphin fans out there, and they're probably going to be upset, but I just don't see this team being very good this year.
Read off their schedule.
Okay, so they got Tennessee. Then they're at the New York Jets. They're home against Oakland, at New England, at Cincinnati, Chicago, Detroit, at Houston, home against the Jets, at Green Bay. Then they're on a bye. Then they at Indiana, Buffalo, New England, at Minnesota, Jacksonville, and at Buffalo. Those last 3 games at Minnesota, Jacksonville, at Buffalo. Come on.
See, I see them splitting with Buffalo, and I see them beating Indiana. Besides that, we're going to squish the fish, and your Fins are going 2-14.
2-14.
We're talking top 1 or 2 draft picks. Probably the number 1 draft pick next year in the NFL.
Yeah, even with Ryan Tannehill back, I don't see them being very productive. I actually see him getting hurt again. I don't mean to jinx the man, but he just seems to me like the kind of guy that's going to get hurt. Like he's reckless. He's very reckless. So let's move on because there's not much to talk about here. And if you're a Dolphin fan,
they sold the team. You got to figure, Jai. They got rid of any talent they had to prepare for the future. They are in full rebuilding mode. As a Jets fan, I can tell you, I've seen it. I know it. It hurts. They're going through it. Honestly, 2 wins max next year.
If you're a Dolphin fan, please call in 505-273-7046.
There's another hotline I can refer you to.
We would love, Suicide Hotline is one of them.
Woo! Dang!
That was real. Was that cruel? Was that a little mean?
That was rough.
All right, let's talk next about. Oh my gosh, we're in this room.
Woo! Headphone alert. How about them New York Jets? Your boys got a squad. You don't even have to introduce them. Hey!
The New York Jets sucks.
We're excited.
Looking
forward to it.
5-11 last year. Let's take a look at their schedule real quick. They're at Detroit to start the season. Miami, at Cleveland, at Jacksonville, home against Denver, Indianapolis, Minnesota, at Chicago, at Miami, Buffalo. Then you guys are on a bye. Then you got New England, at Tennessee, at Buffalo, Houston, Green Bay, and New England. Look at your last 3. Look at it. Houston, Green Bay, at New England.
Mm-hmm. All right, you want to
and then you gotta go at Jacksonville. Then you gotta play Minnesota.
Jacksonville's tough. Jacksonville.
You guys looking at that, you got 6 losses already.
We got a rough inning stretch, but at that point, when is the best football played?
You guys couldn't beat us last year, and we didn't have You couldn't beat us last year. You had a garbage. We had a garbage quarterback.
You guys will have a tough game.
Trevor
against Miami.
Seaman is not a good quarterback, and he still beat you.
Garbage.
And now we got Case Keenum? No, you're not beating the Broncos this year.
Oh, come on now.
Okay.
You'll see us that week. I'm pumped for that game. And it's going to be in New York. Well, Jersey. But anyways, I'm going to tell you why the New York Jets are going to go 10-6 and squeak into the playoffs in a wild card spot. Quincy Enunwa is back. We're talking the big-bodied receiver that would break tackles and get through the line. People forget about him. He had some neck issues. He is back healthier than ever. We still have Jermaine Kearse. We have Robbie Anderson. We picked up Isaiah Crowell, Thomas Rawls.
Is there vodka in this thing? Because I think I'm drunk.
Hey, let me preach to him. Let me witness. Let me share my testimony here.
Nap time.
All right. Sam Darnold is a New York football Jet. We didn't screw it up like the Browns. We didn't go and get a Baker Mayfield Johnny Football 2.0. We picked the best quarterback in the draft. He may be from USC. You can say what you will. Those football Jets have a franchise quarterback. He's going to have some bumps in the road.
Franchise quarterback? No.
Franchise quarterback.
No.
Teddy Bridgewater, who's probably going to start a little bit, and then Sammy's going to get in there. He's already having a great
Sam
game.
Darnold came from, what, USC? University of Spoiled Children? Okay? The guy got raped, okay, by Ohio State. They exposed him. Yes, I said it. I don't care. This is a free show, free country. If you don't like it, all right. But, hey, USC quarterback. How many USC quarterbacks have we seen successful? Especially going to your team. And you have a picture right over there.
How many rings had the Eagles won? How many rings did the Eagles win before they won a ring?
Yeah.
You can't go off of the past other players. No, here's the thing.
But USC quarterbacks do not produce.
Here's the thing. You're just talking about the offense right now, which we have a phenomenal offense. If you take a look at defense, who do we have at corner right now? We have Morris Claiborne. We have Tremaine Johnson.
The cowboy that got burned and that they were happy to let him go?
Phenomenal corners, finally. We have two of the best safeties, young safeties in the league. We have Jamal Adams out there. We have Marcus May. We have a brutal secondary. That's one thing we
brutal secondary because it makes me want to go to the bathroom.
Oh, bro, and that Leonard Williams big cat on the defensive line. Oh man, we've got a top 5 defense. We have a squad. I'm telling you right now, don't you sleep on the New York.
I'm sleeping on the New York Jets.
Hey, that team's headed to the playoffs.
No,
woo!
Sorry, New York Jets fans. Sorry, Adam, but you're going 6-10 again. I'm sorry. You got
6-10.
6-10.
We won 5 games last year with Josh McCown.
And you think Sam Darnold's going to, rookie?
Without Quincy and Newman.
It's going to be butt fumble number 2.
One more game? This guy's on crack.
I think you are.
Oh
I think you've been playing too much Madden because that's all you play with is with the New York Jets. For some reason, you kick our butts with it. All right, but no, I'm sorry. You are on drugs, sir, and 6-10 for the New York Jets.
Nah, we better move along before somebody.
So we're going to have a fight here, and this room is not going to look the way.
10-6 playoffs.
Okay, the next one we're going to talk about is the Buffalo Bills, and we're actually going to have a caller here in just a little bit for the Buffalo Bills, for the Buffalo Bill backers of Albuquerque. Like I said, they've been good friends, but let's talk about the Buffalo Bills. We talked about LaShawn McCoy having some issues. Is he going to be back? Is he going to be the type of player that you want to rely on? They got a rookie quarterback as well. They're going with Josh Allen from the University of Wyoming. I mean, is this going to be a team? Last year they went 9-7. They made the playoffs. Is this a team that can make the playoffs?
Did you see them in the playoffs?
I know.
But
let's look at their schedule. They're at Baltimore. The Chargers at home. Then they got at Minnesota, at Green Bay, that's going to hurt them right there. They have to get out of that alive.
With Josh Allen.
With Josh Allen. Tennessee, at Houston, at Indianapolis, New England, Chicago, at the New York Jets. Then they're on a bye. Then they get Jacksonville at home, at Miami, New York Jets, Detroit, at New England, and then Miami to end the season.
I'm going to tell you right now, I argued with my dad actually a lot about this. Josh Allen is... I have to kid because I was arguing the other point, and then the more I watched, the more I realized. Josh Allen's a good quarterback. You've got to give it to him. They did well drafting Josh Allen, especially over. Did he go? He went before Josh Rosen. I think that was a great pick. He's mentally. Mentally, he's got the game of football he's got it down. He's a natural-born leader. He's got a rocket, and I'm talking a rocket for an arm. That's one thing that you'll see with the Bills. They'll lull you to sleep with LaShawn McCoy a little bit, and then they'll burn you deep. That's not bad. That being said, this is still a year that I think the Bills are going to take a bit of a step backwards. I do have them going 6-10 with that squad that they have and with the young quarterback.
Natalia's going to murder you.
6-10.
I'm going to be nice. Okay, I'm going to say with the rookie quarterback, they got a great defense though. You got to admit they have a great defense. I'm going to go 8-8 with these Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen, when I saw him at the University of Wyoming, because he played the Lobos a couple times, he struggled. I mean, last year, he whooped them, but the year before that, here in Albuquerque, he struggled against the Lobos defense. I know, but that makes me a little concerned. If he was gunslinging in the Mountain West.
You can't. My thing is, you can't pick individual games like that and base the quality of a quarterback off that because you've got 10 other people.
Can you name another successful Mountain West quarterback though?
No, what I'm saying is, if you take a look at like this last year, everyone was dogging McCown for a lot of time for the Jets. McCown, being 87 years old or whatever he is, he played great. The team around him was rough. The team was rough at times. You can't base him off an individual game.
Okay. So we'll have Natalia here in just a few minutes. We got to cover the NFC East real quick, and then we'll talk to Natalia. But if you guys want to call in about any of your teams, 505-273-7046, because now we got to move on to the NFC East. And the first team we're going to talk about is the New York Football Giants. The team that shares their stadium with you.
No, they borrow our stadium.
That's funny. You guys play in New Jersey.
Jet Life Stadium.
All right, so let's take a look at their schedule, shall we? They start the season Jacksonville. Usually it's a Dallas game that they start off, but they're starting with Jacksonville.
Right there.
At Dallas, at Houston, New Orleans, at Carolina, Philadelphia, at Atlanta, Washington. Then they're on a bye. Then they come back at San Francisco, Tampa Bay, at Philadelphia, Chicago, at Washington, Tennessee, at Indianapolis, and Dallas to end the season. They got old man Eli. He's turning into his brother with that noodle arm towards the end of his career. He's had a rough offseason with the scandal going on with him with the fake merchandise. I don't see the Giants being very well this year. I don't think they're going to be. Yeah, they got Saquon Barkley.
Year, yeah?
They got 3 last year.
3? I see huge improvement. I have them winning 5.
Yeah, I'm winning 5. Yeah, there's not much to talk about with this team, besides we know who they got, Odell Beckham Jr. They got Barkley, but are these guys enough to make them a powerhouse team? Unfortunately, not this year.
It kind of surprised me that Eli's even still in New York. There was a lot of rumor about him going elsewhere, all of that. I mean, I think it's time to move on, to be honest. That team needs to rebuild. They need to go through a deep rebuild. They got a great running back. They've got a decent receiver in Odell. I wouldn't even say great. And Eli is a great quarterback, but he's getting up there in years, and he's losing a little bit. You saw some dysfunction in the locker room towards the end of last year, especially with that record. It's going to happen. Like you said, not much to say. I've got them at 5-11, and that's pushing it. That's winning 5 games with that squad. They're going to have to play some good games for what they have.
I'm going to go one below you. I'm going to say they're only going to get a game improvement, and they're going to move to 4-12. The next team we're going to talk about is the Washington Redskins.
Interesting team.
7-9 last year. They got a new quarterback. They lost Kirk Cousins to Minnesota, and they picked up Alex Smith. That was the first trade of the season.
I'm just going to go on record real quick and say I'm so glad that the Kirk Cousins lottery crap is out. Kirk Cousins is not even a top. He's not a top 5, let alone probably not even a top 8 quarterback in the NFL. God, that frustrated me. Not great, but since he's available, they went nuts. Anyway, side note. Go ahead.
So last year they went 7-9. They play at Arizona, Indianapolis, Green Bay, and then they got a bye. 3 weeks in, they're on a bye. At New Orleans, Carolina, Dallas, at the Giants, Atlanta, at Tampa Bay, Houston, at Dallas, at Philadelphia, New York Giants, at Jacksonville, at Tennessee, and Philadelphia. Not a good way to end the season there. They do got a new gunslinger, though. Alex Smith, very, very relaxed with the ball. He doesn't turn the ball over, so if you're not used to interceptions, be very happy.
Yeah.
Because he's not going to throw a lot of picks. 5-6 at the most, but he doesn't throw a lot of touchdown passes either. I think he averages between 17 and 20.
Anyways, he didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, this is such an iffy team. I feel like the Redskins are going to be more of a spoiler team this next year.
Right.
I do have them going 9-7. No, I do not have them squeaking into the playoffs. They're just a team that I think is going to upset some hopes of some teams they're going to beat some good teams. This is the best way
you
to
know they
start.
give the
They're gonna
Cowboys
win.
a run for their money. You know they do.
I'm talking about good teams, though.
Oh.
No, I think they're gonna. I think they can be they can beat some top contender teams when they play the right game. I think getting that new quarterback moving across the country. I think it's gonna take a minute for them to kind of find their groove, because they did do a lot of adjusting. You take your franchise quarterback and flip them across the country. You're going to have some time to settle in, and that wasn't already a great team. It was a decent team. I think they took a step. They're going to take a step in the right direction, but they're not there yet.
Okay, so I'm going to go 6-10 with the Washington Redskins. I see this kind of like a rebuilding year. They want to see where Alex Smith goes. I'm going to say 6-10 for these guys. Sorry, Redskins fans, if I offended you, but I don't see them being very good this year. Like I said, this is going to be their rebuilding year. Next year, I'm going to have good hopes for them, but not this year. Yeah. Let's talk next about the Super Bowl champion, your twin brother, Carson Wentz. Doesn't he look like Carson Wentz, everybody? Google Carson Wentz if you don't know who it is. Take a look at this man right now, and you're going to see that they're actually twin brothers.
It's very racist.
They are the Super Bowl repeat champions from last year. They had a great game against the Patriots.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah. Let's take a look. They were 13-3 last year. They play Atlanta at Tampa Bay, Indianapolis at Tennessee, Minnesota at New York Giants, Carolina at Jacksonville. Then they're on a bye. Then they come home against Dallas at New Orleans, the Giants, the Redskins at Dallas, at the Rams, Houston, and at Washington. They got a 3-game there at home against all their division, like division. They're going to be beat up after those ones. And then they got to go to Los Angeles.
Home on that. You know the home field advantage when you're playing a divisional game, especially in
not the last one. They're at Dallas on December 9th.
Yeah.
But they're playing 3 division games in a row. Then they got to go to L.A. and play the Rams.
I still see that as being the most potent entire squad.
And that's where Carson Wentz got hurt last year, remember? Was at the Rams.
But here's the thing. You have the quality and you have depth. It wasn't just what happened. Carson Wentz didn't play in the Super Bowl. You have depth on that team. Everybody loves an underdog story. They love seeing the Eagles. Until the Eagles wouldn't shut up about it for the last however many months. But honestly, they're still, in my opinion, the best depth chart and the most talented squad in the entire NFL right now. You have Pittsburgh in the talks for that. I still have Eagles walking away handily with their division, going 12-4.
12-4. I like it. This Philadelphia team, they're good. They're really good, especially with your twin brother out the quarterback. But Nick Foles, in my opinion, I'm sorry, deserves a starting job somewhere else. And he'll see that. He'll see that after this year.
Why do you think he stayed?
I think he stayed because I think he wants to prove himself.
If Kirk Cousins can go and make millions, boy got paid. If he can go out and do that whole extravagant thing and go get paid and be a starting quarterback somewhere else, you've got a Super Bowl MVP as your backup quarterback. You have the best backup quarterback in the NFL.
Do you think he's waiting to get paid? Thinking for somebody to come out. I think maybe he's waiting for Jacksonville. Maybe he's waiting for Blake Bortles to slip.
Maybe he's waiting for Case Keenum to stink it up in Denver.
I can't wait till AFC West night. I'm going to murder you. All right, so I have the Philadelphia Eagles going, winning this division as well. I think they'll be not as good as they were last year. I think they're with that schedule, they got some bumps and bruises that they got to go through. I got 11-5 for the Philadelphia Eagles. That's if Carson Wentz stays. But then you got Nick Foles. Yeah, this is their division to lose. But I'm going to go 11-5 with the Philadelphia Eagles. Next up, let's talk about them. How about them Cowboys? So how many Cowboy fans are we out there? Cowboy fans, if you don't call in, you are not true Cowboy fans. So 505-273-7046, especially our boy Elijah. He couldn't be here tonight, but he is a Cowboys fan. So 273-7046 if you want to talk about the Dallas Cowboys, America's team.
I actually don't. I can't give what I think their record, what they're gonna go this year, because I think they'll all be locked up by the time the season starts. I don't think there's going to be a player that is not suspended. They're not going to be able to put a squad on the field, Josh.
Ezekiel Elliott's going to get fined $20,000 for just doing a touchdown dance.
What was it? It was today. There was a fight. There was a big old brawl. They're fighting each other, pulling face masks in practice. That's a dysfunctional squad out there.
All right, so they start the season at Carolina, which, it's funny because Elijah lived in Charlotte for all those years. And then the year that he moves back is the year the Cowboys go and play in Carolina. Yeah, at Carolina, New York Giants, at Seattle, Detroit, at Houston, Jacksonville, at Washington. And then they're on a bye. Then they get Tennessee, at Philadelphia, at Atlanta, Washington, New Orleans, Philadelphia, at Indianapolis, Tampa Bay, and to end the season with the Giants. Like you said, I don't see this team very successful. Dak Prescott is not impressive. He was his rookie year. Last year, he showed his true colors. He's nothing without Ezekiel Elliott.
We're not going to go down.
And they don't got a receiver
tonight.
to throw to.
We don't have time to go down this road tonight. But I do have to say, I mean, Dak Prescott, at least kudos for him for taking a different viewpoint on this whole national anthem thing out there. Just focusing entirely on the game. He's received a ton of backlash. He's throwing his voice out there, so you got to give him some props for at least taking a stand on that. Anyways, like I said, we don't have time to get down on that. This Cowboys team, you can't give them more than 8-8 at the very best. So I'll give that to you. I'll give you the 8-8, but it's just dysfunctional. You don't have. I mean, Dez is gone. They're saying Dez might sign with Cleveland. Who knows? You have no speed at wide receiver, none. And that's the issue. They were saying that the receivers, they can't get open. They don't have cuts. They don't have speed. They don't have that breakaway. So Dak's, I mean, as good as he can play, which isn't that great typically and accurate, he's not going to have anybody to throw to. And then, I mean, Zeke is Zeke. He's going to eat. He'll get his touchdowns. If you're looking at fantasy standpoint, still a great way to go. That team is just not a good team right now, and I don't know what it is with this Cowboys team. I don't know what the dysfunction is hailing from, but they're not a team that is going to surprise anybody or shock the world. They're a team that, if anything, is going to degress this year.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Like I said, they don't have a wide receiver to throw to. Alan Hearns and who's the new one from Colorado State? He's not proven to be Michael Gallup is his name. Those are your top two receivers in Dallas. So they're going to have to pound the ball with Ezekiel Elliott this year. Their defense is in trouble. DeMarcus Lawrence is kind of a bad attitude and kind of a cancer in the locker room.
That's a whole team.
Yeah. I mean, you also got, they picked up a decent linebacker from Boise State. I should know because I love Boise State football. But it just seems like I don't see this team.
What was that all when Dez left? He said something about Sean Lee, like he's saying there's snakes in the locker room, and Dez was able to sneak a little bit more of a discontent into that locker room right before he left. They're reeling. That team is reeling, and out here in Albuquerque, I know there's a lot of boys fans. Best of luck to you. I know what it's like to be a fan of a sucky team. Trust me. But I think you're a fan of a sucky team. Like this team ain't doing anything. I'm being generous with that 8-8.
I'm gonna go 7-9 for the Dallas Cowboys. Zeke is gonna be the reason they win, hands down. The games that he wins is the games that he rushes for over 100 yards. But
he has to
because that's the only way they're gonna win. So sorry, Dallas Cowboy fans. You can call in anger if you want to. Like I want to hear you defend your team. So 505-273-7046 because now we're gonna have Natalia from the Buffalo Billbackers of Albuquerque calling in any second here. So until she calls, let's hear some Cowboys messages. Where are you guys? Exactly, you're nowhere because you're shy about their team.
You think they accepted it?
I think they did.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. That's a little bit like Eagles-esque. You got a bad team. At least you're not screaming nonsense, saying that you guys are going to do something right. You're not going to the playoffs. You're not.
Sorry.
Check out. Look at next season. I don't know.
Just like you always say.
You got to look on the bright side. You're going to get cheaper tickets to Jerry World. They're not going to be that expensive, all right? Trust me, I've gone to $25 ticket Jets games. I know how that life is. Look on the bright side. You're going to save some money. You can get Dez Bryant jerseys cheap right now.
They don't have Jason Witten because okay, I got a good Cowboy joke for you. The only time the Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl is because they're going in the broadcast booth because Tony Romo and Jason Witten are going to be commentating games, and that's the only way you're going to see a Cowboy in the Super Bowl. But we got Natalia on the phone, so let's talk to her. Remember, she's from the Buffalo Billbackers of Albuquerque. So we welcome to ABQ Sports Crew Natalia from the Buffalo Billbackers. How's it going?
Me tonight.
Oh, great. We've had a great relationship with the Buffalo Billbackers. A couple years ago, you guys hanged out with us, and we had a good time out there. So how's it going? What have you guys been up to lately?
We haven't done a whole lot in the off season, but we're gearing up and getting ready to start the season off right with the Duke City Sports Bar over on Montgomery and Eubank. It's our home bar this year.
Nice.
And we're looking forward to another great season with them and them sharing their space with us.
So this is Adam with Sports Crew. I've got a question for you, Natalia. Buffalo Bills fans, they are infamous for their pregame rituals. Do you guys partake in any of that pregame?
We don't break any tables, if that's what you're asking. We haven't done that yet. We have been known to throw some pretty decent tailgate parties here in Albuquerque supporting the Buffalo Bills, and it's always a good time to come and hang out with us at the bar and just watch some good football.
Now, Natalia, you guys got a lot of supporters. I've seen your guys' Facebook. And for those who don't know how to join this group and they are big Buffalo Bills fans, how did they get a hold of the group and get a hold of you guys on where to meet?
Facebook is definitely going to be the best way to go about that. Give our page a like. We're the Buffalo Bills backers of Albuquerque. Or just come down to the bar in person. We don't charge dues. It's free to anyone who wants to just show up and have some fun, win some raffle prizes.
Nice. And how did this group all start? Can you give us a little story? You know, because we like I said, we've had you on the show before. You know, you talked about it then, but you know, for people that are new to the show, how did you guys start, and how did this become how popular it is now?
Buffalo Bills backers, as I know it, we started off many years ago at Doc and Eddie's.
Yep.
And the owner of Doc and Eddie's was a Bills fan. And he just started having some people show up to watch the game. And it's definitely evolved into a big following. We're officially registered as a Buffalo Bills backers club with the Buffalo Bills. So we get a certificate of authenticity. We get a certificate to hang up in the bar as our official home bar for our Bills backers. You can find us through the official Buffalo Bills website as a Bills backers bar. But Facebook is definitely the way to go to contact us to get any information for upcoming games.
Nice. And Natalia, what is your role with the Bill backers? What do you do there?
I was co-president for 5 years. I actually just announced my retirement last year. I'm stepping down from a more official role. It was a lot of responsibility to take on to run a club, especially one of that size.
Yeah.
So I did help run with my co-president, Lindsey Johnson, for 5 years together.
Mm-hmm.
And we're looking forward to carrying this through for many years to come under Lindsey as the official president now.
How many members do you guys have?
Well, on Facebook, I know we've reached over 400 likes on Facebook for our Facebook page.
Awesome.
In person, on a good game day, we'll see over 100 Bills fans in the bar.
Wow. And who knew that? I mean, because, you know, this being in this region in New Mexico, you got nothing but Raiders, Broncos, Cowboys, Steelers. But to know that you guys are out there, you know, especially because there are a lot of fans that are shy because there's not much gear you can get here in Albuquerque. The one place that you could actually went out of business, but you know, it's good that you guys are strong and you guys are staying connected. I mean, that's amazing. Can you talk to us about last year at that last game of the regular season when you guys were officially announced that you guys are going to the playoffs? Can you describe the environment that place was at that time?
It was electric. It was. We were ecstatic. I think the only energy that could have matched how we felt in our bar was to watch the live video of the players in the locker room watching the end of that Bengals game.
And oh man, because I know you guys must have been going crazy, right? Because that was the first time you made the playoffs since 1999, correct?
It is, yes, yeah. So I mean, if you really want to split hairs, it was a wild card game, but we made it post-regular season, which was a huge deal. I feel like we finally broke that barrier, so the pressure's off for the season a little bit. You know, hey, our team last year did it. Watch us do it again this year.
Now, you lost your top quarterback. You drafted a rookie in Josh Allen. How do you see the season going for the Buffalo Bills? Me and Adam talked about it just a minute ago. I had the Buffalo Bills going 8-8. And he had them going 6-10. Do you see an improvement, or do you feel like this is going to be a year you guys got to adjust?
I think it's going to be an adjustment year, but I think it's going to be a good adjustment year. Speaking optimistically, I'd like to see the Bills go 10-6 this year. More realistically, I think we'll match our record from last season, 9-7. I expect great things from Josh Allen. He's been looking really great in practice and training camp, and we're real excited to have him as a quarterback. Hopefully we can get him as a franchise.
Yeah, because he, like Adam was saying, he was a gunslinger. He has a great arm, so you definitely have someone that can throw the ball. Now let's talk about your running game, because you have LaShawn McCoy, and there's been some issues off the field with him. And is that going to be a concern to Buffalo Bill fans? Is that something that you guys are worried about? Is LaShawn McCoy? Because you know how it gets when something like that happens. It gets on a player's head, and he kind of downfalls.
I think as far as McCoy goes, we're we're looking to the future. We're not focusing on what happened in the off season. I think he's going to bring his A game to the team. We saw some really great things from him last year, and hopefully him and Josh Allen can find a good relationship, and we can make that work to our advantage.
Awesome. And just a couple more questions for you, Natalia, and then we got to let you go. But
Sure.
When is your guys' first meeting? Like, when are you guys meeting up? Do you guys meet up for the preseason games?
Unofficially, we do meet up for the preseason games. Anyone who wants to join us for that would be more than welcome. But our first official kickoff will be the first game of the season. I don't have our first game information in front of us, but I know at least 90% of our games are morning games. So we'll be at the bar for the 11 a.m.
Nice.
For the season opener.
Yeah, September 9th is the season kickoff, so if you guys want to join the Buffalo Bill backers. Again, Natalia, one more time, can you tell us how they can get a hold of you, where you guys meet, and just what you guys have going on? Just one more time for people that are joining in late.
Yeah, of course. So our Facebook page is the best way to get in touch with us. It is the Buffalo Bills Backers of Albuquerque. Our logo is Buffalo Bill jumping through a Zia symbol, which I think is one of the coolest symbols we've
That is cool.
come up with. I mean, it doesn't get much more New Mexico than that.
Right.
We meet every game. We meet every game at Duke City Sports Bar, which is on the corner of Eubank and Montgomery. And we're going to be doing some great things this season. We're going to bring back our loyalty card raffle. So every time you show up for a game with us, we'll give you a stamp on your card. 12 or more stamps will get you in for a raffle at the end of the season for a really great prize. We do a free halftime raffle every game. We do a 50-50 drawing, which helps fund the prizes for the raffle, so we can keep that free for you guys. We organize tailgate parties, Lobo parties. So when the Lobos play, we get a great group discount on tickets, and we'll tailgate for that. Of course, the specials at the bar helps run for us, and we do have T-shirts and sweatshirts available for sale as well.
Awesome. That's great, Natalia. Thank you again for calling in and being part of the ABQ Sports Crew. Definitely me and Adam and Elijah will definitely have to go down there one game and watch a Buffalo game, especially when they play the Jets, because Adam's a Jets fan, and it'd be my greatest honor to see your guys just rag him all day long.
Oh, that would be amazing. And for the record, Buffalo is the only true New York team.
Oh! All right, Natalia, thank you for joining us on the ABQ Sports Crew. We hope we'll have you call again during midseason and see how you're feeling about the Bills, okay? But thank you for joining us.
That sounds great. Thanks so much for having me.
All right, Natalia, you take care.
Thank you.
All right, so I mean, you heard Natalia.
Wow.
She burned you. Are you all right?
Well,
are you okay? I saw
we're
you.
going to that game.
All right, guys. So this is the last of our show. This is the final headlines. This is something that me and Adam, where we did as the former crew and stuff like that. But this is where we talk about something that's just been on our minds, whether football, basketball, any sport. I'm going to kick it off by saying Lobo hockey is just around the corner. We are a month away from the return of Lobo hockey. September 14th, I believe, is their first game that I've seen on the schedule. Grant Harvey's going to let us know. They are playing the Air Force Academy. So if you want to see a great hockey game, next week is their golf tournament. I can't wait for that, and we got a couple little things that we'll be doing with them. But I just can't wait to get Lobo hockey started. I know Adam, your wife Jennifer, is so excited to get season tickets and be a part of it as well, because guys, like Adam said earlier when we first started the show, this is something that you don't want to miss. This is the best deal in town. $5 gets you in the door. $3 if you're a UNM student. That place sells out. They were turning away people last year. and Grant was a little disappointed that he had to turn people away. But you can catch everything on the Lobo Hockey Network. Just go to facebook.com/Lobo Hockey, the Lobo Hockey Network, and you can follow along all season long. We broadcast the games there from the Outpost, and a couple of away games this year, so we can't wait to get that started.
And I'll just kick it off with kind of a bit somber of a note, just with all the stuff in the media and the news going on with Dak Prescott this last week. I don't care what side of the fence you fall on all of the national anthem debate. I don't care if you're talking to Colin Kaepernick or if you're talking to Donald Trump. I don't care who you're talking to online. Careful with your words. At the end of the day, we carry different viewpoints, we carry different perspectives, but we're all people. I don't like if you're bashing and you're cyberbullying, if you're doing that to the Colin Kaepernicks, to the people on one side of the fence, or you're doing it to the Dak Prescotts or the two people on the other side of the fence. Let's knock it off. Let's focus on football. Let's let people be people. Let's hear the message from both sides and move on. That's really my message, especially with the media that's been in the news this last week. Biggest thing for me right now is that it's good to be back, guys.
I missed you all.
It's been fun. It's been too long of a hiatus. That ain't going to happen again. We'll get more of the crew on. We're going to be doing different events, different contests, things like that. It's good to be back.
Yeah, I'm very happy to be back. Thank you, Adam, for lending us your home and turning it into a football studio and talking to ABQ Sports Crew. Next week, hopefully Elijah will be back and we'll have our third member, because next week we're going over the AFC North and we're going over the NFC North as well. I can't wait to be talking about those teams, especially I have a friend that's a Steelers fan and I can't wait to prove them wrong on why Steelers are going to – yeah. Alrighty, guys. We want to thank Julian, our producer, for making this show happen. He is from Blue Wind Studios. Like I said, if you guys have any questions, Julian, just real quick, can you tell us how to get a hold of you? Like, you can yell it at us. I know you're behind the scenes, but can you yell it to us? Like, how did they get a hold of you?
I'll probably post that on our page.
Yeah.
There's a delay on, so it's kind of weird. They could either reach me at my phone, which is 505.
You can reach him at 505
721
721 0264, and he is with Blue Wind Studios. Guys, he made this all happen for us tonight. He's going to be with us all year long, and as long as he wants, he is more than welcome to be part of the ABQ Sports Crew. We want to welcome him to the ABQ Sports Crew family. So thank you again, everybody. You guys have a great week. We are out of here. We will be back next Sunday when we are talking more fantasy football. We're going to go over quarterbacks, tight ends, and defenses next week. So make sure you tune in, because you're not going to want to miss it. AFC North, NFC North next week. As for me and Adam, thank you guys for tuning in to the ABQ Sports Crew. We are out of here. Take care of each other, and God bless you all. Take care, everybody.